Hello there. Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. It's the first day of May and we celebrate our children all month long. Happy Child Month. This year's Child Month is being celebrated under the theme Children Need Our Love and Protection. Get involved. In this village called Jamaica, let's continue to play our part to ensure the nation's future, our children, are safe and loved.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Monday, May 1, 2023. The Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, through the Trade Board Limited, will be establishing an export academy. Prime Minister Andrew Holness, who made the announcement last Thursday, says work on the facility is expected to commence in July.
Which will provide free online information and training for businesses to boost their confidence to seek out export opportunities.
He says the Trade Board is also working to digitize its services and initiatives to support exporters and facilitate ease of access to its provisions. Other proposals in the pipeline include the Step Up initiative and the Market Intelligence and Trade Compliance Information Platform. Mr. Holness says this online resource will facilitate the registration of businesses around the world. He was speaking at the opening ceremony for Expo Jamaica 2023, held from April 27 to 30 at the National Arena and the National Indoor Sports Center. The expo made its return after a 2-year hiatus caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. This year's event featured 230 exhibitors showcasing the best of Jamaica's products and services. It connected local manufacturers, producers, tourism industry players, and service providers with 660 local and international buyers from almost 30 countries.
We have a broad-based manufacturing industry here in Jamaica. And I'm certain that as a result of this expo and the exposure that this broad-based manufacturing base of Jamaica will get, our manufacturing will increase even greater.
Meanwhile, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Senator Aubin Hill, is calling for more local entrepreneurs to pursue and expand into the business of manufacturing. The minister was speaking at Sherwin-Williams' 50th anniversary logo unveiling and factory tour recently. He lauded the company that employs approximately 280 Jamaicans for its shift from just a distributor to becoming a manufacturer of paints.
The vision that led your founders in 1972 to make the important leap from distribution of products to manufacturing right here represents the type of entrepreneurial spirit that I wish to see more of our Jamaican businesses embrace. We need to make sure we have more of our Jamaican companies doing that.
Farmers in St. Anne are being encouraged to prepare to capitalize on the parish's projected tourism expansion. This is owing to the planned addition of 5,000 new hotel rooms in the resort region over the next 5 to 10 years. Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, Colonel Charles Jr., says farmers in the parish should start increasing production to meet the predicted increase in food demand.
As tourism expands, it means that there's going to be more need for our farmers to till the soil, because when tourists come to Jamaica, one of the most important things that they want is our food.
Minister Charles Jr. was speaking at the 9th Annual St. Anne Association of Branch Societies of the JAS Industrial and Food Show in Discovery Bay on Friday. He says St. Anne is brimming with prospects due to the more than 37,000 hectares of land devoted to agriculture, which is the third largest on the island.
In St. Anne, we are producing banana, cabbage, carrot, lettuce, Irish potato, sweet potato. There's nothing we can't plant. And the ministry is focused on developing other crops.
The Jamaica Intellectual Property Office, JIPO, will be rolling out several measures this fiscal year to facilitate greater use and protection of intellectual property in Jamaica. Minister of State for Industry, Investment and Commerce, Dr. Norman Dunn, made the announcement as he addressed a JIPO brunch held at the AC Marriott Hotel recently. It formed part of activities to recognize Intellectual Property Day, which was observed under the theme Women and IP, Accelerating Innovation and Creativity. Dr. Dunn says among the JIPO initiatives to come on stream are the launching of a Technology Innovation Support Center and a Women's Innovation Network. The Technology Innovation Support Center will be established in partnership with the Scientific Research Council, SRC, to guide young entrepreneurs, researchers, and innovators from product research to development. The Women's Innovation Network will provide women and girls with the necessary tools to succeed through mentorship programs, network events, and training workshops. Dr. Dunn says the government recognizes the need for citizens to proactively protect, manage, and commercialize their intellectual property in order to derive maximum benefit for themselves and the economy. 3 families from Goodwin Park Road in Campbelltown, Central Kingston, whose houses were destroyed by fire in 2020, are now proud new homeowners. Prime Minister Andrew Holness handed over a 1-bedroom and 2 3-bedroom units valued at $17.2 million to Lloyd White, Lisa Brown, and Leisha Brown on Friday. The houses were built under the government's new social housing program, NSHP. Prime Minister Holness says the units will improve the living conditions of the beneficiaries, providing them with privacy and security.
These households now have the benefit of proper housing. But more than that, they now have an asset that will help them to break intergenerational poverty. There is a base from which their children can build.
The Prime Minister implored the beneficiaries to adhere to their commitments under the social contract, which calls on them to maintain the properties and become good ambassadors for the NSHP. The beneficiaries expressed gratitude for the gift.
As what I was hearing from I was a child growing up, that politicians always make promises and do not fulfill it. Well, this one has been fulfilled.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Although our job as parents and guardians is to protect our children, there are instances where young people get in trouble and encounter the justice system. When this happens, it's the task of the state and the agency's responsibility to divert the child from a possible life of trouble and towards a better alternative. Let's find out more.
Scenario 1. A child is caught desecrating a building. To him or her, it is fun. After all, they are not hurting anyone. Scenario 2. Teenage boy meets girl. They fall in love. They decide to do the do. These scenarios seem somewhat innocent until... In scenario 1, that child is charged with vandalism because the building is the property of someone and it will cost them a lot of money to undo the damage done by said child. In scenario 2, the boy is arrested. As it happens, he is 17 years old and the girl, well, she is 15 years old. What they may not understand is that although they are both teenagers, it is unlawful to have sexual intercourse with a person under the age of 16. So now these young people will be jailed. But do they have to be?
Child diversion in the Ministry of Justice is just our way of diverting children who are considered to be troubled, wayward, or children who just come into contact with the justice system, because not every child that comes into contact with the system is a troubled child. So we offer them rehabilitation and an opportunity to get a second chance.
So how do we get to this stage? Consider the scenarios earlier. Those children are now in the custody of the court. In a traditional judicial system, when found guilty, these persons would find themselves behind bars. However, the Ministry of Justice has reconsidered the fate of such individuals and is offering a better solution. But first, the individuals must accept responsibility. Then, they and their victims, along with the court, must agree to the terms of treatment, that is, child diversion. So, if your child is between the ages of 12 and 17, they are eligible. The program, which began in 2020, is guided by the Child Diversion Act, which was passed in 2018, and is supported by other acts such as the Child Care and Protection Act, which speaks to the best interests of children. Some offenses under Schedule 1 of the Child Diversion Act are simple larceny, malicious destruction of property, and having sexual intercourse with a person under 16. However, judges have autonomy to send cases or offenses to the Child Diversion Program at their discretion. Yes, there is hope for our young people who find themselves on the wrong side of the law. But what does that second chance look like?
It will look different for every child. So what happens once they are referred to us, we have offices across the island, so we have 14 offices. They're sent to one of our offices in the parishes, and the child diversion officer in the parish will do an intake assessment, and we ask the child a lot of questions. We also ask the parents questions to get an understanding of what this child is all about and what home life is like, what school is like, and so on. Once we're able to do that, we then craft what we call a treatment program for that child, an individualized program for the child.
After a treatment plan is drafted, it will need the approval of the Child Diversion Committee. Once approval is given, treatment will commence.
A child might be referred to the program for simple larceny, but when they come to us, we realize that they're using drugs, their educational level is not where it should be. The intervention that is provided will be geared towards not only the simple larceny, but also the other interventions that that child might need. So we might have to refer them to, let's say, the National Council on Drug Abuse, so they might be able to get drug abuse treatment and counseling.
And what about that boy in scenario 2? What hope is there for him?
These children come to us. They might be A students in school. They might be actively participating in sports, other activities, but they are, for whatever reason, they decided to try and they were caught having sexual intercourse. They referred to us. For a child like that, that comes to the child diversion program, the aim of the program is not to punish them, but is to ensure that they get the adequate information about the actions that they're taking, how it can affect them, how it can affect others. So it's not a case where, oh, because they're caught committing this offense, that their lives should be over. So child diversion basically provides them an opportunity to, you know, when you were in basic school and you had that eraser, or primary school, to just erase that mistake and rewrite it in a more positive way. I just want parents or guardians to know that child diversion, the program itself, is here to help our young people develop, and it's here to help them develop in a positive way. So don't consider it punishment, or even if it is, it's not one that is so final that this child cannot go into adulthood without leaving that simple mistake that they made as a child behind.
Children are the future, and ensuring our future is healthy requires that children are always provided with nutritious foods to grow well and live long. Unhealthy diets high in sugar, salt, and fat consumed by children may make them obese and prone to non-communicable diseases later in life. Healthy foods and beverages not only help them learn better, but also protects them from non-communicable diseases such as some cancers, diabetes, hypertension, and cardiovascular diseases in their childhood and adult life. So, whether it's at home, in the lunch bag, or at school, let's make healthy foods and beverages for our children the only rule.
Not only do children need healthy foods to grow, but they also need space to run and play. So if you, as their parent or guardian, want to take them somewhere they can take in several lungs full of clean air, a public garden might just be the ideal spot to visit.
They offer a large serving of nature with a dash of history and science. Public gardens, created and maintained to educate Jamaicans on the importance of plant life. They also provide free green spaces to enjoy the benefits of the great outdoors. There are 4 such spaces on the island, all supported by the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries. And after making our way through Bath and trekking through Castleton in the first part of our journey, we're now 4,800 feet above sea level. The Cinchona Botanical Gardens, located in the cool, moist hills of East Rural St. Andrew.
Cinchona was first established in 1868 by the then Governor Sir John Peter Grant. At that time, the gardens was used as an experimental location. Various plants from other European countries were brought here for medicinal purposes, like the eucalyptus, the camphor, and other herbs are grown up here.
Cinchona is unique as it is the only garden in the Caribbean at such a high elevation.
Cinchona got its name at the time when there was a malaria infestation on the island, and that Cinchona plant was brought to Jamaica by a governor of Peru. The Cinchona plant was used to cure the malaria by way of extracting the bark of the plant and transforming that into quinine. And they used that to work on the malaria.
There are no conservation programs at Cinchona, but if you're feeling adventurous, make the hike and study an array of exotic plants on location, including the almost 200-year-old hoop pine. Our journey ends at the largest green space in the Kingston metropolitan area. Though run by the non-governmental organization Nature Preservation Foundation, it still receives a subsidy from the government and is free to the public.
Hope Gardens comprises of 260 acres stretching from Old Hope Road to Skyline Drive, but the actual gardens is mainly 60 active acres. The garden was a gift to Major Richard Hope, who was part of the contingency of Pennant Venables who came to conquer the island in about 1655 when the English invaded and took over from the Spanish.
Hope was an experimental site. They introduced exotic plants here and replanted them on the island once successfully propagated. Offspring of these plants remain in the garden.
We have the cannonball tree, which is native to the Amazon rainforest, that bears a fruit that takes 18 months to ripe, and it also weighs about 15 pounds. We also have the sausage tree, and that fruit can weigh anywhere between 15 to 27 pounds, and it really does look like a huge German sausage. The tree is native to West Africa, in Senegal.
Hope is vital in the conservation of the island's wildlife and flora.
We have a particular project in which we go to the cockpit country and get endemic plants, take them back to Hope Gardens, grow them and reintroduce them into the wild. The zoo also has a world-famous iguana project in which they have rediscovered the local Jamaican iguana, bred them successfully in captivity, and have introduced over 400 native iguanas into the hills of Hellshire.
This garden is usually bustling with activities. Family gatherings, professional photography, and school excursions are among the popular happenings.
The Chinese Garden is also a special place within the Hope Gardens. It was a gift, a $3 million gift from the People's Republic of China to the people and government of Jamaica.
I like about Hope Gardens is that you are free. You can do anything you want. You can paint, you can play, you can go to the zoo, like see the animals.
My group came here because we have a history group project. We thought that coming to the Hope Gardens would be a good idea, especially on a Sunday, because on a Sunday it's quiet and I think it's very conducive to practice. There is greenery and it's an open space. So, you get a nice fresh breath of air while you're here, and it's, I think it helps you to focus more on what you need to do.
Hope Gardens is a getaway for persons wanting a break from the hustle and bustle of city life. A visit to public gardens provides this opportunity. Nature beckons. What are you waiting for?
I want to make it clear that the funds provided by the government for the trucking of water, the water that the government is providing must be provided to the consumers free of cost. There is no charge associated with the trucking of water. And the water that is being provided is for domestic use only. The question was asked about car washing facilities. The National Water Commission, I am sure, will be monitoring those facilities, and so too is the municipal corporations, to ensure that whatever water is used in the washing of motor vehicles are not the precious commodity that we are struggling right now to find in our pipes across the country. So I want to make it clear that the funding that has been provided by government is to give free water to the various communities across Jamaica where trucking is taking place. And persons who are experiencing those problems are asked to call the ministry or call your municipal corporations, or to take down the license number of the truck and send it here, because we are not going to allow persons to exploit the problems that people are facing by doing something which is illegal.
According to an African proverb, those who respect the elderly pave their own road towards success. And that's why they're considered the backbone of a nation, the ones who share their knowledge so the next generation can learn from them. Let's look at ways we can engage these valuable members of our society, our senior citizens.
It's often said that children of a nation are its future. Conversely, a nation's progress is chronicled through its senior citizens. Seniors are the backbone and foundation of any successful society. It's on their work and achievements that we are building a brighter future for all our citizens. We want to continue to benefit from their contributions, and that's why we've compiled ways to engage and involve this invaluable segment of our society.
Did you know adults aged 60 years and older in Jamaica are called older adults?
Did you know that in some countries, one can be dubbed an older adult at age 50 or 65, depending on the laws of that country?
Have you heard? The world's population is aging. The World Health Organization has declared that by the year 2050, adults aged 60 years and older will number 2.1 billion.
Here in Jamaica, older adults are the fastest growing segment of the population, moving from 6.7% in 1960 to 12.6% in 2015.
That's why it is very important that we incorporate our seniors in the decision-making process to give advice on social issues as well as benefit from their labor. To capitalize on this effort, the United Nations and the World Health Organization have declared 2020 to 2030 as the decade of healthy aging. This simply means giving older adults the opportunity to be and do things they value throughout their life, while being free of disease and infirmity. In Jamaica, the National Council for Senior Citizens has earmarked the last week in September annually as Senior Citizens Week. The last Sunday in September is observed as Grandparents' Day, and every year on October 1, the world celebrates International Day of Older Persons. We want to incorporate our seniors in all that we do. Here's how you can get involved and be an ally to them.
If you are a caregiver or a family member, remember, incorporate the older adult in the decision making. For example, what to eat or what to wear.
Utilize their help in situations. Remember, they have lived through many hardships. We have had world wars, we have had disease outbreaks. Utilize their help.
Familiarize yourself with issues related to older adults. For example, the terminologies. What is gerontology? Gerontology is the science and comprehensive study of older adults and the issues concerning them. Healthy aging and good health is not just the absence of disease. However, it requires an opportunity for older adults to be active, to enjoy the things that they've always enjoyed doing, break the intergenerational gap. Seniors would love to be able to talk to you and have you listen to them.
Volunteer your time to seniors, be it in an old age home or an infirmary. Carve out some time to spend with an older family member.
Older adults have a sexual appetite. Don't discriminate.
Remember, seniors are adults. Don't treat them like a child. Don't abuse them.
Ask yourself the question, what can I do for an older adult today? Researchers. Studies show that most research do not involve older persons. Community leaders. Be an advocate for the older person in your community today. See to it that they are prepared for the social activities so they can go out and be participatory in what's happening in the community. Young people, what can you do? Just be there, be present, listen to their stories. Teach them the newer technologies that will allow them to communicate and stay in touch with family and friends that are far away. Just be there, be available for our older adults today.
Seniors are our portal to the past, a guide to the future, and most important, a resource in the present. They are an invaluable part of our society. Let's treat them with the respect and love they deserve. For more information on Senior Citizens Week and how you can be a part of an older adult's life, call the National Council for Senior Citizens at 876-906-9277.
Thank you for being with us today on Jamaica Magazine. As the French chemist and microbiologist Louis Pasteur points out, when I approach a child, he inspires in me two sentiments: tenderness for what he is and respect for what he may become. So, for the remainder of Child Month, remember, we have a responsibility to properly mold a child to help create the Jamaican future we want. Do join us again tomorrow as we take you on another interesting journey. You can visit our website in the meantime, jis.gov.jm, for more news you can use. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you so much for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.